Herzlich willkommen zurück auf Shock America. It's not a victory Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm your host, Richard. Joining me, as always, co-host Jack. How we doing, Jack?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. It appears as though the floodgates have finally opened. We may have been due for that, but potentially good that it came and got out of the way in the cup. Or I guess we can talk about that potentially.
Yeah, but I want to kind of kick things off. And tonight, this is going to be. We obviously did a podcast last night. Tonight's going to be fairly short. We're mostly ranting about the first game, but then looking ahead to Karlsruhe because that's coming up in just a couple days' time. I kind of want to start things off though. Some idiot made this comment when the draw was made that we got Darmstadt. That is an easy game. I'd rather get Darmstadt than anybody else. That was me. I said that, and sure enough, they beat us 4-0. And you said like they've been our bogey team, and obviously who's to know we were going to win that game in the league last weekend, but yeah, kind of eating my words today after that because I wanted Darmstadt and we got them all right. But interesting game. I argued last night, previewing the game, that a couple of us in the chat were saying the league means more to us at the moment than the Pokal, right? So you want to kind of save some players for the game, do some rotation, hopefully, so that we can, if we win, great, but at least we're prepared and ready and fresh for Karlsruhe coming up on Saturday. Then Music in his press conference says, we're not changing anything. We're going to bring a lot of players just because we got a lot of games on the road, two back-to-back games on the road between Darmstadt and Karlsruhe. But we're going to it's a cup game, and we're going to act normal as it is. As such, looking at the lineup in this game here, our team pretty much was our normal starting 11 with the two exceptions of you got Porat on the left and Bachmann playing more in the attacking role. I argued that Bachmann had a crap game last game against in the win against Darmstadt, but he would more than likely get the start in the game today, and I thought it was a good chance for him to make redemption. I don't necessarily have a problem with the lineup of the players because this is pretty much a certain 11. My problem is that we didn't rotate enough players. I thought we had a good opportunity to do that. Didn't even see Heckern in goal. It was Karius again. What are your thoughts on how the starting 11 ended up being?
I am a little bit surprised about Bachmann's inclusion in the starting 11. Again, given that I agree with you, I think he was probably our worst performer in the previous match. And so given that fact, I would have thought, especially since you brought somebody, I mean, he's coming back from injury, so I get that kind of a thing, but like you have like Remmert on the bench, right, who ends up coming into this game later. Yeah. You could have started him up top, put Musacilla where you started Bachmann, something along those lines. You could have started, Remmert out wide if you wanted to. Substitute him off. I mean, you still have Amin Younes, who came on as well. Yeah, I mean, it's like both of those guys, like, were, I think, potentially options sort of in that position maybe for a bit. The two of them could have gone maybe, 90 minutes together, something along those lines. So I'm not trying to be too critical of it, but I think, given that, like, it didn't work against them just a couple of days ago, and then it was arguably, worse today. So, yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily great. And the one thing we noted last night about the Darmstadt team, it would fairly be a similar lineup, but to be one major inclusion, and that would be their goal scorer, our tormentor, Isaac Lidberg. He had a hat trick against us last year in one game. He's a good player. I feel like he scored most of his goals last year against us. But they have a good team. Hornby's a good player. Corredor is a good player. Maglica is a good defender, and the goalkeeper is pretty decent as well. But Lidberg was going to be the linchpin. He was going to be the guy. How much impact would he bring to the game? Obviously, we saw he had a huge impact in the game. But I can't say that we shouldn't have been surprised about what they were going to bring. It just because we knew it was going to happen. They told us Lidberg was going to play. He was coming back from illness. He was going to be ready. So we obviously were not prepared for that one big player to come back into the game because it.
Yeah, and it's not great for us to like lose by that scoreline and not have him be the one that really does it to us primarily either. But not a good performance.
So it's a stark form reversal between the what we saw in the league versus the cup failure. We obviously entered this game with a 5-game win streak, all in the league. We're at the top of the Bundesliga, Zweite Bundesliga, I should say. All's well in that regards in the league. We had all this confidence, and Meyer Music emphasized in his press conference before the game that the Pokal is a priority, and we saw it with the lineup. He went with his best lineup. Unfortunately, it was a catastrophic failure, Jack. We could not transition our form in the league to what we saw in the Cup. And this kind of suggests either it was a mental or tactical letdown. What are your thoughts on where the big discrepancy was between the two? Obviously, we know back-to-back games is always difficult, whether it's rivals or not. Same thing happened last year with Braunschweig, right? We won the game in the Pokal, we lost the league game. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? Why the failure?
I mean, yeah, obviously, like, couldn't stream it while I was at work today, so I can't really speak to like the tactical aspect of it. But just watching, the highlights and some of the commentary that I saw, I mean, it certainly seemed like it just, I don't know if we were up for it to some extent. It seemed like some of the energy and the, the closing down that you would typically see from us in certain situations this season that sort of bailed us out of some of those moments where maybe we are under pressure in the final third, just wasn't there today. Just a little bit too nonchalant throughout the entire back. Yeah, we were punished for it, and you can be. Darmstadt's not where we are on the table at the moment, but they're not too far off, and they're a solid team, like you said, with a lot of different people that can hurt you, and they demonstrated that. So, like we said, we hate these back-to-back games where you play somebody in the league and then have to play them in the cup. But I mean, they're in the same situation, and they took advantage of it. So props to them.
Yeah, they exacted brutal, immediate revenge against us, Jack, after their loss in the weekend. And it's funny because it's such a stark contrast difference. Because in the league game, they had absolutely nothing. They could do nothing for 90 minutes. They had no attempts on goal against Karius. It wasn't until stoppage time where they had a couple weak chances. And then you come to this game, and then just super clinical. It was an counter-attacking masterclass by Darmstadt, obviously led by Lidberg. They had 2 goals within a space of 5 minutes. The kind of thing opens up. Obviously, Karaman had a great opportunity to kick things off. Had he scored, this could have gone all differently. Maybe as clinical as it was, maybe it wouldn't have mattered at all. But they scored 2 goals, late in the first half, and then they kick off the second half with 2 goals again. It just seemed like every time they counterattack, they were a threat, and they scored almost three out of the 4 goals on the counterattack. Jack, it was a masterclass and a letdown that we haven't seen us give up those kind of breakaways or whatever. Maybe a Hanover match.
Well, this is the thing, though, is like we've kind of been talking about this the last couple of weeks. Is how many times have there been, the really close offside calls or the the disallowed goals or whatever the case may be, where people are clearly trying to take advantage of how high the line is and get in behind on some of those direct balls. And I don't know. I think we've gotten away with some of those, and I think we could get punished on more of them over the course of the season. I mean, as long as the rest of it is better than it was today, I'm not overly concerned about that being too much of an issue, but it's certainly been lingering. So it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it had been lingering. I thought we had turned a corner after that performance at home against Darmstadt, where we just were clinical. We shut them out completely, but then we come back and kind of resort back to our ways that we have been in terms of leaking quality opportunities the opposite way. And so certainly they showed our vulnerability to pace and quick transitions. It's something Meyer Musa is going to have to figure out. And obviously, Isaac Lidberg, his return is a huge boost to them. Anytime you can get your talisman back for Darmstadt, it's going to be a big boost. I think, sure, we had some injuries with Gomes, Antuyaje, and Lasma, but like you said, I just don't think the guys were up for it in this one. It's an abysmal performance, and I feel it has lasting effect. We'll see. But my worry going into this game is that Lidberg was going to come back. He was going to be a pain in our ass like he was, which he ended up being. And it could derail our confidence that we had when we had 5 wins in a row, started the season fantastic. But all it takes is one oops, and it kind of derails your confidence. So what were your thoughts on how that all, the Lidberg effect happened against us?
Like I said, I was hoping I was able to catch the stream afterwards because I was interested in seeing like why this game was so different from the one we just saw over the weekend. And 'cause like I said, if the rest of the 90 minutes was as bad as what I was able to see sort of in the highlight package that's out there, yeah, it just didn't look like the team that we've been seeing recently
No.
at all. Like from it looked like body language wise and sort of the energy and effort. Short turnaround midweek, I understand that. But I mean, you would think, especially given what Mushel has been saying coming into the game about what his plans for the squad and the selection were, that the team would be equally motivated. We certainly haven't seen short in that department this season under him. So yeah, disappointing performance. Hopefully it's a blip, and I know there's some people that are going to say it's a positive. You may be among them too. Long term, and I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you on that. So yeah, as long as it's not a huge bump to the confidence, I don't think it's a big deal.
For once, I think I'm the more pessimistic of the two.
There you go.
I do think it could be a good thing. I'd rather have this blip in performance in the Pokal versus the league, because I think we can all agree that, the chance for promotion is greater than chance of winning the Pokal. So
100%, 100%.
Yeah. League, right? But my worry, obviously, and I just talked about what my worry was heading into this game, is that we would have a bad game. And I talked about this on the pod last night, how like this current team has not faced adversity yet. What will happen when we face adversity? Well, here we go. We got it right now. We're going to get a good idea of what Myron Music and his team are truly like, because they got punched in the mouth. How do they react to this? It's a huge game against Karlsruhe. Karlsruhe is almost as good as us defensively in terms of goals allowed, and they got a better attack than us. And we'll get into Karlsruhe in a second, but that's my big worry at the moment. Is like, the positive is it happened in the Pokal, but like the way we got punched in the face is startling to me. Like, have we just lost 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 or something like that? I'd be like, okay, but a 4-goal loss, it was a big fu essentially, and that's my worry, is that if this team isn't good with adversity, it could have a negative impact. I'm hoping, and nothing that I've seen so far is telling me it's going to be that. But you always got that after the last 10 years as a Schalke fan. It's in the back of your mind.
No, I completely understand that. I think everyone can understand that. I'm not gonna argue with you. Yeah, I just feel like I think Muslich already this season early on has bought enough credit and benefit of the doubt that you're allowed to have. I mean, it's not often that Schalke wins 5 games in a row. We're more used to them losing 5 games in a row to start a season, which has happened multiple times in the past like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that a 4-0 loss is not bad. I'm not saying it's not worse when it's in a cup and all those kind of things. But I mean, it's football. People have bad days, and unless this starts to become a trend or something, not overly concerned about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond. I think that's going to tell us certainly a lot about where the motivation or energy levels of the team are at the moment. Yeah, we have a kind of a sprint here before the end of the season, end of the first half of the season, I should say.
Yeah, 2 big games left.
Busy before Christmas.
It is, and how we end the gauntlet here with Karlsruhe and Elfersberg is going to tell us a lot of what kind of Christmas we're going to have, I guess. No really big takeaways. Obviously, it's a bad game. Let's forget about it. I think the one thing right here, 5.9, Yannick Bachmann again. Not a good performance for the second consecutive game. He did come back from injury, but he was pretty bad in terms of possession in the first game. And then in this game, I think it was 8 duels, 8 losses. Like, he is not good at all. Obviously, he was the guilty party on the Malicha header on the second goal there. So not a good performance for him. But again, all the way around, nobody had a good performance. And so let's move on from this. It's going to be we'll have to forget it because we have a quick game here in 2 days here against Karlsruhe. Karlsruhe, they're in the top 10, but they're within a couple points of us. Looking at the table, they're at 18 points. We're at 24, so 6 points behind us. But it's not that much of a difference, really. If you look at the two teams in terms of goals, 4 goals against, they're 17 for 13 against. So most of their games has been a lot of goals in them, right? Medhunter says, this just doesn't surprise me. Muslich's intense playing style isn't sustainable for long. Now it's time to dust ourselves off, recover, and fully focus on promotion. Yeah, 100%. So look at this Karlsruhe match. It's essentially, if you erase this game, Jack, get it out of your memory. right? It doesn't matter anymore. Looking at this game coming up on Saturday, you got, for the most part, a solidified defense, right? Against a team, Karlsruhe, who have a formidable home fortress. They've won 4 of the last 5 home games. They like to score multiple goals, especially a lot lately. Even the teams that are known good defensively, they scored a lot of goals. They scored a lot of goals against them and gave up a lot of goals. So this is gonna be a battle of mentality again, a battle within ourselves with Schalke. Can we get over forget about the midweek game and recap our form? It's obviously we have a pragmatic attack. They have a lot of high scoring potential in Karlsruhe because they got a lot of goals. I think Karlsruhe is going to want to shootout, Jack. I think a game that's 1-0, 0-0, grinded out. That's our style for sure. Not beautiful at all, but I think they want to open it up, and that's going to be the big key. Can we keep them from scoring or having as many chances as Darmstadt had today? What do you think about this game against Karlsruhe coming up?
Well, I'm concerned about Vanacek. He scares me a little bit. He's not the top scorer on their team, but like he just, I think he's always dangerous. And yeah, like you said, they've been certainly on a tear recently. I mean, not like in terms of results necessarily, but I mean, there's scoring goals, and so if we're not able to recover from what we just had today, and if that becomes a trend for any short stint of time, this could be the window for them to potentially capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best team for us to be facing at this moment in time this week potentially. So we'll see. It'll be like you said. That's why it's going to be interesting to see how we respond to that loss. But yeah, it'll certainly be a test. They're having a good season. And certainly dangerous. So these are look. I mean, if we're top of the table right now, I don't think that necessarily means that we're the best team in the league this year, but I do think that we are definitely in the promotion conversation.
Yeah.
But Karlsruhe is one of those teams that's kind of has an outside shot of it. I mean, there's a lot of people that are in that mix, and it's a long season, long way to go. We still have like 7 games before Christmas almost.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot can change even in the next month and a half or so. So yeah. But yeah, looking forward to this one.
I am too, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the key person to neutralize is Marvin Vanacek. He is the highest rated player on their team. If you look at places like FootMob and who scored like that, he's been very good. Obviously, their main goal scorer is Schlusner. He's got 5 goals this year as the main target man. So I think if we got to find a way to isolate and pressure Vanacek, I think as soon as he gets the ball, pressure him. I think the one thing we did good against Darmstadt in the first game is anytime we turned it over and they got the ball, we kind of did like a Barcelona press where from the old school days, Messi, press him and then get the ball right back. You see Guardiola does this a lot with his teams. That was good. If we can find a way when Vanacek has the ball, do the same kind of pressure and get him to kind of cause turnovers, I think that's probably our best bet in terms of neutralizing the attack. And then again with the attackers they have up front, the big men, the target men, our center backs just got to play right. Katic, he's got to make his presence known. Kurchai as well. Ihan's got to step up. He's got to have a little better game than he did. They all got a better game than they did today. But neutralizing those big target men up top are going to be key for us, I think. Limit their chances and just grind it out. A typical Muslic fouls, yellow cards in the game. Slog it out. I think that's the recipe. I think for our success if we have a chance to get a result on the road here. Even though I think we've been better on the road than at home too. So I'm confident in that regards as well. So,
any chance of Sanchez or no?
Shoot, after the last game, it's quite possible. It depends on how tired the guys are. I wouldn't be surprised we see some changes in this game compared to today. But I don't see much. If it's going to be anybody, it'll be Sanchez, maybe Remmert, but that's about it. I mean, he's been going with Silla, so I can see Remmert in for Bachmann maybe, and then maybe Sanchez in there as well. Becker got a break because that was nice to see that he got a break. Gantenbein maybe for Porat for Gantenbein. I don't know. So there's a couple shots I think that could possibly see some start time, I should say.
Fair enough.
Let's see. I think the one thing, that's one way to neutralize Karlsruhe, what we just talked about, but I think a way that we can get opened up is kind of what we just saw in today's game against Darmstadt. The risk of the high press. if we do that high line way too much, they're going to all do is get a ball over the top, hit us with a counterattack, and have we learned anything from today? That's going to be the thing. Music has got to he's got to do the pros and cons, kind of balance it out. You can't always do the high line, especially with a team that has pace like Karlsruhe does. It's going to be interesting to see how he sets up for that. And Karlsruhe have scouted. I'm sure they've scouted our weakness. They're going to practice a structured, deep retreat, and they're going to try to. I don't think they're going to be too worried about our offense because our offense isn't like the most potent in the league, right? Theirs is much better than ours. So I think you're going to see a lot more possession by Karlsruhe, a lot more really trying to just pin us back and trying to confuse us. I think that's what we're going to be going for.
And I hope Musasila takes that personally and scores 3 as a result of you saying. No, but no, I mean, I think that's fair. If I was approaching the game, I'd probably consider doing something similar. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and I'm concerned about what it's going to look like with some of the rotation. But maybe if we do get some of that, it'll be better to have some of these guys back in the lineup too that we've been missing out on for a while. Guys like Remmert and whatever else we see them potentially. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes, but hoping for a good response.
I was hoping to see this Vanacek goal here, but I got all these commercials here, so I'm going to have to skip that. Nonetheless. Anyway, but interesting looking at the odds for this game. Fairly close. They're calling it like a toss-up, essentially. What we're going to have to do is make sure that we treat this not as a test to show that we're leaders, but we got to show that we're able to, adapt and attack outside of our defensive foundation. I think we're going to have to open it up a little bit and score some goals. I think one goal is not going to be enough in a game like this against them. And then the key is, can we shut down Vanacek, the key cog by them? He can obviously score a screamer, and so you got to watch out and not give him any opportunities to shoot there. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Any predictions for this game, considering what we had today?
Alpha was a goal.
Oh. How good has he been lately? By the way,
very good.
Did you see that he obviously lots of teams now are drawing interest from him, but his agent basically gave a big FU to Dortmund and said he's not going to do anything that's going to upset Schalke. He believes in Schalke. He's not going to disrespect Schalke by considering a Dortmund or anything like that. So I love seeing that. This is going to do us more.
Yeah, I mean, I love that too. If that's the case, I think he's due. I think he's due for a goal this season.
Yeah, he is. He's
not on the score sheet yet. I think he's due.
Yeah. Great assist last week, but a goal would be doing wonders for sure. All right, Alpha Aussie, we win. I'm gonna say we bounce back and we get a win as well on the road. I feel a Keenan Karaman scream fest before the game coming on. We didn't really get that in the Darmstadt game, so I'm excited for that. If nothing else, I've been loving the English content we've been getting from Schalke's YouTube there, and their social media. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. The game is this Saturday. It's gonna be a fun one. Real quick for those who are not too familiar with Karlsruhe, I'm going to show you just their last several games. So you can see what kind of offense they have. They just went on the road against Greuther Fürth 4-1. Did lose to Kaiserslautern recently at home. That was their one loss at home recently. So they have lost recently. That's the most recent game at home. Shootout against Dynamo Dresden. Beat Magdeburg. Lost to Holstein Kiel. So they've had up and down games, but they're pretty good at home. Like I said, they won 4 of the last 5 games at home. So a fortress for sure, and we'll do our best to do it. So anyway, not much else I got for this. I mean, it's a frustrating game, both from being able to watch it, not being able to watch it, to how we performed. But then we got a big test coming up on this Saturday. Any other comments either from the game today or the game on Saturday?
Just hope Bachmann's not in the starting 11. That's about it. No, okay, that's harsh. He's been solid for us as a good role player, but just tough week or so for him. I think
it has. I still believe in him for sure, but yeah, it's been an extremely rough week, and it's one thing when Musasila's your striker is not scoring. At least he can blend into the mix there. When Bachmann is defending and giving up goals, it's like giving up turnovers. It's like it's frustrating. So. We'll see. We'll see how.
I also wanted to clarify that I did not join the clergy. This is just a dark hoodie and a white shirt underneath.
We're like
Just
the
in case
yin and
anyone was wondering if there was a life update in the background. There isn't. But yeah.
Yeah, you've got very much the dark scenery this year, and I got the lighter scenery. So it looks purple on my screen, but it's very much blue in my room. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, a rare 2-show week for us, and back to back. Hey, don't we played Barnside back to back? So might as well do back to back shows this week. Don't get used to this. We're just a conflict of schedules for both of us this week. We had to adapt, and survive. So anyway. All right, Jack, where can our followers find you on social media on this brief episode?
At JM Mangan, JMMNGAN on Twitter. I mean, if I tweet ever, which I haven't really much these days, but you can find me there in theory. So feel free to look.
Yeah, same here at R_KHARMAN. But more importantly, follow us at Schalke America all across social media. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, everything. Subscribe to everything. All right, give us a love and share it with your friends. Anyway, game Saturday. We'll be back early next week for the podcast. Hopefully, we have some redemption to talk about, but adversity, it has kicked us in the face. Let's see how we react to it. So, for Jack and myself, enjoy the rest of your week. Try, and hopefully, it's a good weekend ahead. So, all right, talk to you later. Glück auf.